Greetings all, Ferrari Matt 601 here. Mere minutes ago, as of recording this, VRC Modding Team have given us this, the Revenga R13 for Assetto Corsa. VRC have been doing a whole slew of LMP1 type cars in the last few months, and I've got to say off the top, I'm not an LMP1 guy. I'm really not. I drive these cars, I understand how they work, they're basically open wheelers with roofs, but they're not quite my cup of tea. However, I do have to say that VRC have been doing a fantastic job with these LMP1 type cars that they have been giving us. Although I know nothing about them. I don't know what the real-world analog to this car is, and it's not really important because my mission here is just to shake this down and try to give you some semblance of what it's got to offer in terms of performance and general driving characteristics, things of that nature. Let's see, I can see we've got topside periscope-style exhausts. Obviously, we got a big diffuser, a big rear wing, we got a shark fin, we've got barge boards, we've got a front splitter with dive planes, and it's got a roof, and apparently headlights. Yeah, we got headlights on it. So actually very nicely done too. So what have we with this thing? Big slick majestic tires, as VRC have been apt to do recently. We have got, let's see, status lights there for position, I'm led to believe. And it's got a roof scoop. If it's got a roof scoop, that means it's got to be fast, right? Yeah, I think so. That's basically the universal characterization of a fast car. It's got a roof scoop. So what do we have with this thing? Looks like we got a 6-speed box. I'm assuming it's going to be sequential, semi-auto actuated. Looks like we are geared up for some considerable top speed by default. We've got tires. We have got soft, hot, soft, cold, medium, and hard. Medium is the default, and the default pressures are here. I haven't even heard the sounds yet, so the engine is off. We've got traction control, that's good. We've got wings. Yes, the wings change their angle of attack visually, apparently. And, whoa, that's radical. The whole front-end treatment changes drastically. Depending on what settings you've got dialed in here. That's something. Step 2 and Step 1 are radically different from one another. That's cool. That's actually really cool. I mean, we've seen things like this before in terms of the wings changing the angle of attack, but that's big. That's real big. All right, that's different. That's real different. Good job, VRC. Camber toe at all four corners. Dampers, bound and rebound, fast and slow. Drivetrain, the diff. The engine with the rev limiter, power steering, brake power, brake bias. Heave rates on the third springs, front and rear, travel ranges, and ride heights, wheel rates, and anti-roll bars. All right. Sounds about good. What's our fuel level? Maximum 68 liters. And judging by the sounds on that, we got 2 banks of cylinders. I'm going to say that we have got, probably have a V8 in this thing, but I don't know. I have no idea what it is I'm about to deal with. 50 liters is the default fuel load. So I guess that's going to be it. What's in the cockpit? All right, we got a fancy IndyCar-looking steering wheel. All right, so we'll have shift lights across the top. We have got a menagerie of data points to look at here. What's our TC doing? Okay, that's good. I've got no MGU system, so we've got no hybrid systems at all. That's fine. CSP's working with the Road America track map ceremoniously taped to the roof there. I like that. Looks like we got a repeater set of shift lights there on top of the dash between the 2 air ducts coming at us. And that seems to be about it. All right. It's good. Yeah, it definitely sounds like it's got a V8 in this thing just by the way that it's idling. We'll have pedals here in the lower left, and I have not turned a wheel at all in this thing. So, all right. We got the little hydraulic pump there for the gear change. Yeah, that's a V8. That's a clutch. Grabs early on in the travel. All right. Do we need to lift on the upshift? Nope. Okay, that's a true semi-auto then. I have no tire blankets. There goes 200 clicks. Brakes. If the Vendetta's anything to go by, you're going to have to give them some time to warm up. 6-speed box. Try to get some temperature into the brakes here. Right, bit of understeer because the tires are cold, no tire warmers, so we're going to have to work them in. Looks like we got tire pressures front and center on the wheel. There's the rev limiter. All right, yeah, we got some downforce, folks. Yep, already the kink is flat. They've got some nerve to call that corner a kink. That is not a kink. Very solid feedback on the brakes. They're not quite warmed up yet, but they feel good so far. Be cautious here. All right. We do not have a repeater for the shift lights on top of the dash. I think that's going to be our wheel lockup and wheels slip and things on there. Probably go red or yellow depending on condition. We'll see. Okay. What's our traction control doing? We're on step 4 of 6. All right. Got a monitor there for the rear view mirror. I can't see the actual mirrors outside. Doesn't matter. And we're turbocharged because I hear a wastegate popping off there on the downshift. Not quite flat there yet. It might be flat. Not sure if it'll be flat on the mediums, but it might be flat here on the softs. The carousel, or as I much prefer to call it, the corner of interminable death. Not flat. Don't think it's going to be. Brakes are very positive. That was full force there. A little bit of a twitch there from the back. Traction control coming in. Is Bill Mitchell flat? Yes, quite easily. It's actually not going to be a half bad lap for having done no time in this car at all. It's going to be a 45.76. All right. Onward and upward. There go 300 clicks. 4th gear for turn 1. Use all the runoff. 0.6 up. There's our lockup warning lights and a bit of a wiggle there. Lost 0.2. Almost 0.3. On the brakes hard. Will they lock? Maybe a little hint of a lockup just starting initially there, coming down through 4th into 3rd, but well controllable. Is this flat? Not quite. All right. So now that I got my head screwed on tight enough, what do we have? Blue lights coming on when understeer starts to set in. That's innovative. I don't know if I've seen that before in Assetto Corsa. Could be useful, could be annoying, not quite sure yet. Second gear here to Canada. What do we do? A little bit of a twitch. Again, traction control coming in good. I am picking up the animated antenna there on the front end. That's cool, and it appears to be tied to lateral G, if not longitudinal G as well. I can't quite tell from this angle. Obviously, you got the windscreen wiper animated with the CSP. Oh yeah, look at that. Lateral G comes on through turn 1, and that antenna just starts bending around. That's actually pretty cool. That's pretty neat. What was our last lap time? A 44 and change, it looks like there. All right. Looks like we have got last lap in that second level on the left-hand side, just below and to the left of the gear position indicator. That's me with rear locking. That's totally my fault. But you got to find the limit, and that's how you start finding limits. But well recoverable, I gotta say, given that my attention is not entirely devoted to driving. Cool. Dip the wheel off into the grass there, that's all right. Blue lights coming on there. Okay. Unwind the steering and they go away, so that's definitely tied to front end slip. That's all right. Brakes. Second gear. Wait for the back to slide, and there it is a little bit. Not too bad. This thing is stiff, I'll tell you that much. The way it reacts to those big bumps under high lateral loading there through Bill Mitchell, it's interesting. Thing just bounces around. Doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of suspension deflection. It just sort of soaks it up into the chassis, and then away goes the bouncing ball, but controllable. All right, don't lock up the rears here. See what we can get in terms of a lap time. I'm already getting plenty of confidence, as you can probably tell. I feel like I am mostly understanding its general characteristics. It's very flat. Speaking of flat, now that is flat. 1.5 up. On the Vendetta, there is a grading phase that the tires go through. I don't know if we're going to encounter that here. A little bit more understeer than we had on the previous lap there. Maybe we will, maybe we won't, I don't know. .2. Brakes. Second gear. Feed the power in. Let the traction control pick up the rear. And send it. Pretty good. Watch the bumps. There we go. Not so bad this time. Tuck it in. Get on the power early. 1.1. It's going to be a 43 and change, I fear. Yep, 43.15. 151, it appears. Get back to full throttle so early into turn 1. Little overcooking there into the brakes. That's all right. Down a 10th. Well, what do we have? I described this car on the previous lap as being pretty flat. It is very flat. It is very docile, I want to say. The sounds are quite violent. The car's mannerisms, though, are generally not, from what I can divine so far. It's very habile. There's no real surprise, apart from the occasional rear locking that I think you can mitigate by getting your downshift timing better. Medium and high speeds, it's very predictable. Once the tires hook up in a high-speed corner, it's just stuck to the road. I mean, look at this. No change in steering lock to the apex, and it's glued. Which you would expect, considering this thing has about 9,000 wings on it. A little bit forward on the brake bias to see if that makes a difference into the last corner here. Tucks the nose in a little better, I guess. All right, so we're within half a second of our previous time. That's all right. Sight unseen, I'll take half a second for lap over lap consistency. Marginally regaining some lost time. Still flat. Breathe and squeeze. There we go. Brakes. Get the downshifts done. Get it turned in. Get back on the power. Okay. Confidence is there. Confidence is really there. Get the nose tucked in. Breathe out of the throttle. Get back in it. Rip the under tray off over the backside of the curb. They're within 0.2. All right. I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. A little bit of understeer there from holding the brake a little long into one. Understeer, but no lift yet. Tires are maybe losing their ultimate performance. That was a good exit there from Hurry Downs, or whatever that corner is actually called. I don't think it actually is Hurry Downs. I think that's turn 4 or 5 or something at this godforsaken place with the most messed up corner numbering scheme on the planet, except for Austria. Somehow I gained half a second there in Sector 2. Let's not give it all back now. I gotta breathe out of that. A little sloppy getting to the apex there. And we still somehow gain time, all right. (1:42.40). I'll take it. I will definitely take that. The Nigel Mansell spin test has been passed. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Right. So first impressions on this. What have we here? It's quick. 1:42.409 was the last lap and the best lap so far. It's quick and it's stable and it looks pretty cool too, I reckon. So, right. So that tells you a little bit about what it does. It doesn't really tell you about what I think, because I don't entirely know what I think yet. Why not? Because we need to see what it does at the limit on sticky tires and low fuel. Look at this. Total full tank here, good for 26 laps, roughly. How about when we've just got enough for, say, 5 laps? So we'll have 3 flyers here on soft cold or soft hot. What's the difference? I don't know. I'm assuming that has to do with the temperatures at which the tires are working at their best, but I don't know. So let's find soft hot on board. No tire warmers, so we'll have to work them up. And enough fuel for 5 laps, including this one and an in-lap. Expecting it to feel like a pig out of the gate here on cold tires, but that should go away shortly. I'll work the brakes back up. Otherwise, though, no changes from default setup. What does it do? Traction control definitely working harder on the colder tires. You can see the white lights flashing on either side of the main shift lights. That appears to be the traction control or otherwise rear axle slippage. Yep. Carousel, slightest bit of understeer, just trying to get set in there. All right, tires are very happy now, I think. And we'll send it on 2 consecutive flyers and see what it can do. Definitely giving it a hug of the apex there. All right. Not a bad launch out of 3. Use the brakes, use the curb, use the curb here. We're going to gain time in our medium and high speed corners, I fear. Already flat here. Carousel, what do you do? Did we gain anything? Maybe a fraction? Lost another 10th. Gaining incrementally. Losing incrementally, gaining incrementally. Fuel light. Last flyer, 142.75. Oh, the run out. We're right on the delta. Just fractionally behind it. Back end getting a little bit light there, cresting the hill under braking. That's always a very dynamic moment here in the lap of Road America. Second gear, come off of the brake, squeeze in the throttle. Just breathe out of the throttle as little as possible without flying off into the countryside. Really understanding that I'm torturing the front axle by doing that. Come on, pal. .142.45. I think we did identical lap time to the previous run on the mediums. This is the end lap here. Gonna keep going for it though, only because I want to see, do these tires get better? Do they start to fall off only after 2 laps? Are they a qualifying tire, or are they still a usable race tire? Still feel like they're there. If anything, they might feel a little bit better than they did on the previous lap. We won't find out now. So just like the Vendetta, we've got ourselves a proclivity for rear locking if you overdo it. And it's a combination of brake pressure and downshift timing. If you want to avoid it, you got to figure out what that combination is. Evidently, I still haven't quite figured out what that combination might be. However, all in all, it's very stable. It's very, very stable. Does it feel particularly dynamic? Not really. It doesn't feel particularly challenging either. It's just got bundles of downforce. Yeah, this set of tires would still be good. Right. And the lights around the rear view camera, evidently they flash when the pit lane speed limiter is active. All cool. And the longest pit lane in the known universe. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. Huh. Well, the Revenga R13, it's different. It's not different in terms of what VRC have been releasing as of late, but it's different in terms of the standard fare that I tend to enjoy in Assetto Corsa. But so far, I can see that this thing has a lot of performance on tap. It's got bundles of downforce. It's got bundles of mechanical grip too. It can be a handful under braking, which, again, that's a guess. I could expect that given what VRC's other LMP1 type cars have been giving us lately. But that's not to criticize it. It's just to say it's a characteristic. And it's quick. It's going to be real quick. It's, what is it? I would say probably 5 or so seconds slower on aggregate than a kart machine. Again, VRC also gave us Formula North America 99, if you want to get a sense of what kart was like. So yeah, it's cool. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a car to learn. One of the things that definitely stands out to me, just like it did on the Vendetta, it's the braking. You've got to, first of all, once everything is working right, you've got to be very mindful of your downshift cadence as well as your brake pressure, as you do with any wing car. As the speed drops off, so does the downforce. And actually, the downforce drops off in a logarithmic function to the speed. So as the speed drops, you need to take the pressure off of the brake. That's called cadence braking. So that's something that you do in open wheelers. It's something that you'll do in a car like this as well. So obviously, be mindful of that. Be mindful of the fact that those downshifts got to be timed right, because quite obviously, you'll get rear locking, and then the rear end will try to overtake the front end, and all kinds of trouble can happen. And just be mindful as well that it's not an open wheeler. It's heavier than an open wheeler. It bounces around differently than an open wheeler because of that. So if you try to be all out of the box, try to be super fast with this, it's not going to work. But it will work to an incremental approach, I feel, having done, 10 laps or whatever we just did. So take my words with a grain of salt. But it's different, and it's cool, and it sounds really good too. It does not have the 7-speed box like you've got in the other VRC LMP cars for the moment, but it doesn't seem to matter. The gearing is good. The torque output through most of the rev range is pretty good. Torque at low revs a little inconclusive because you get traction control coming in, which seems to be helpful, but I don't know. I like the antenna that you can see out of the cockpit. It's bending around with the lateral G, so I like that. I like that, and I like this, and it's cool. And stay tuned for hot laps because that's what I do with this. So, for I'm out 601, say thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye.